Welcome again from Florida. Hello, I'm here with the great Dr. Robert Morse. And for all of you that hasn't met him yet or encountered him on YouTube, he is a great healer and has the International School of Detoxification. He's been in the field of healing all from degenerative diseases, following people from hell-will to well-will, empowering, teaching for more than 40 years. So this is quite an honor.
Thanks, honey. Thanks, I appreciate it. But really, I mean, I'm honored with you because when I first met you, I still remember Skyping you, and you were in bed with your hands like this, and you were just so dehydrated and so acidic and so full of pain, and the body had morphodized and was starting to really turn on you. And to see you now, and the journey that you've made it's amazing. But this is the journey that's available to everyone out there.
Oh, yes.
And that's why you're doing this and I'm doing this, is because where you were and where you are now, where you came from. And I think the public needs to understand that you could be in Hellville right now with a lot of pain and suffering. Don't count yourself down. There's a way to get out of this. It's not medical. Medical does not know what causes pain and how to get you out of it. We do.
Yes.
And that's important because some of you are suffering for years and years. Look at what you went through.
I know.
All the steroids, all the chemicals, all the stuff, because they had no idea what caused your problem.
I know. So it's acids on top of acids. And it's like you say, we know what to do, but actually the body knows.
The body
knows everything. We just needs to get out of the way.
Out of the way.
Yeah.
But I think that's what in looking at that, I think it comes down to, and we were talking shortly before we turned this on, about man has to understand what species he is, what foods is his, as opposed to just eating anything. You know, man eats like billy goats. If it's there, if it doesn't taste good, put some kind of spice on it or something.
Yeah.
No, there's a specific food designed for the human being, and we don't eat much of it. And when we don't, we get sick. When we do, we get well. Yeah. It's that simple sometimes. Yeah. There's herbs and things to help regenerate and rebuild and clean deeper and stuff like that, but you've got to change your diet. You can no longer ignore the fact that we're islander species, a frugivory species. And when you do ignore that, your suffering is going to continue on down the road.
And it's such a simple experiment,
isn't it?
I mean, you can just try it.
It is.
Just try it. And that is the action part. You just try it. I mean, we all know about eating, hard to digest foods. We know how after a meal of meat and fats, we lay on the sofa, our belly's bloating, we're low in energy. We're forcing the body to take care of a lot of toxins, taking away our energy. And you can just do an experiment. Just eat fruits. Eat raw, living fruits and vegetables from nature and feel the difference. Food is for fueling. Food is for energy. Food is for vibration.
Oh, man.
It is not, something that you eat and go to sleep.
It's not a treat. It's your food source.
Right.
And what
life is a treat.
Well, yeah, and what better
Every
food
hour is a treat. Well, an orange is a treat.
Oh.
It can be a treat.
You know that, well, when you're eating foods that are grown properly, fruits and berries, they're nirvanic.
Yeah.
They go, oh my God, they taste so good. Anything else, you have to spice it. You have to do something to make it taste good. You don't have to make fruits and berries that are raised properly taste good. They already taste good because they're here for you.
I know, and you feel better after eating.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing. You should feel energized after eating. You're eating to have more energy, not to be taking energy away from the cells.
Exactly.
And we spend so much energy digesting food, doesn't it? The human body.
So much energy digesting food.
Yeah.
Most people's consciousness is stuck right here in their stomach area.
There you go.
Because that's where the bulk of the food is. And it's funny because when you take that full feeling away, they think they're hungry. Yes. They're starving now because they lack that. But once they get used to how well you feel when you feel lighter and not a big ball of undigestible food in the gut, you just start to go, wow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's another thing. When you get cleaner, you realize that a lot of that craving, a lot of that wanting more and more might be parasites, fungal problems, blood sugar issues. So it's not, it was never about hunger, really, because if it was about hunger, we'd all be dead because most of what people eat is gray and brown food, which has next to no nutrition.
Exactly.
Just to show that nutrition in itself is not the main reason for eating. Because then people would be dead because they're eating almost nothing. And not only that, but they're almost not absorbing anything because of the impact of the intestines. So what does that tell us?
Well, that's it.
What is that hunger?
Well, I've always said, that exactly. And that hunger is overstimulation.
Yes.
Because proteins overstimulate, because proteins create the acid. Acids overstimulate tissue, and when you don't have them, it's kind of like an ulcer. Mm-hmm. If you have an ulcer, if you feed it, you feel good. It's okay. It's all right. At the same time, that ulcer's chewing on your gut, but you don't feel it. Now, when you go to fast or you go on fruits and stuff, your ulcer goes, hello, here I am.
Yeah.
And it's just that when you start eating properly, your body starts letting you know where your problems are.
Exposing your weaknesses.
It exposes your weaknesses. Mm-hmm. And the thing about fruit and berries and melons and things like this and salads, it isn't just that it's an energetic thing. It cleans you too. They're self-cleaning. A lot of people don't realize that you have two things to think about in life: feeding and cleaning.
Yeah.
You just don't put fuel in your car and just worry about the fuel line. You have an exhaust system to deal with.
I know.
And that has to be in harmony with the fuel. You can't have too much exhaust going out or too little. If you don't have any exhaust going out, your engine dies.
I know. And what would you do first? Would you clean first, or would you just keep feeding?
Good question. Would you, I'll give you a good example. Let's say that you put diesel fuel in your fuel tank, and you said, whoops, my God.
I'm just going to put some other gas
on top of that. So now we got to go, exactly. Do you put gas on top of it? You have to take your tank and clean it all out. You have to clean your body out.
Well, you could try, and most people do.
You could try.
Yeah.
But you really want to clean your body out.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. And it's funny, by just eating that way, it's self-cleaning. So you have a sewer system in your body, and it cleans that.
Yes.
So here, it feeds you, and it cleans the lymphatic system. Right. It's like, oh my God, whoever thought? Well, that must be who thought that up.
Well,
I don't know. The God of gods, that who creates all things. Yeah, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
What were they thinking? Making a food that feeds and cleans you at the same time. Well, what were they thinking?
Yeah, and what were they thinking? Having a body that cleans itself and heals itself.
Exactly, because you saw how far you were, and we've had some. We were telling, we didn't get any pictures of her, unfortunately, but we were telling about an advanced ALS case and how she had lost the ability to speak neurologically and everything. So we had her singing and speaking, but I've had them even worse than she had, all morphodized and skin growing and stuff, and getting them back.
Isn't that amazing? Natural.
Unnatural. That's the power your body has to rebuild itself under the right chemical conditions.
Yeah.
And that right chemical condition is going to be predominantly on what? The base side.
Yes, exactly. Of course.
Yep.
So what is it that makes it so hard for people? I am thinking it is so easy to read and to know about this, but so hard to do.
Yeah.
I come across people that are, almost facing leaving this planet, and still it is very hard to change the condition of the society.
I think you're really touching on the most important problem that the Homo sapien faces. That's a lack of spirituality. Mm-hmm. The human is in a unique experiment, if you look at that, when you look at other species. Yeah. So we're a unique experiment. And the thing is that we haven't been going right. If you take a look at our healthcare systems, they're barbaric. They're antiquated. When you treat made-up diseases with acid chemicals, you're actually making everything worse. You're not helping anybody. And so that's the main health system that people are looking at in some countries is the allopathic communities. Mm-hmm. And they don't know what causes anything. So why would anybody go up to a treatment-based system and take their treatment if they can't explain what causes their problems? That's scary. Yeah. And that's what happens because pharmaceuticals have very high death rates, very high damage rates to the tissues in the body, extremely high. So
they're going after symptoms.
Yeah, they're going after symptoms instead of causes. Exactly. Yeah. And that's problematic because when you do that, your life is in your hands, and a lot of people die doing that sort of thinking. And you still never regenerate. You never get better. Everything is just controlled and suppressed. One day, everything explodes, and then you're in trouble.
And the great thing about this is it's so simple. It is so simple.
Well, I'll tell you another thing, and you said it earlier, that makes people hard on this, and this is the fungus part.
Yeah.
So many people are full of candida and fungus, which is the fungal family, and that keeps you on your starches, that keeps you on
Yes.
your cheeses and stuff like that, and that craving you think is yours, and it's not.
Yeah.
You said it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of man's cravings for perverted foods
Yeah.
is parasitic.
But what is it that's still stopping the action? I can see also a conditioning of taking an easy way out, taking a pill. You know, we're conditioned to think that things should not be hard. I talk to people and the response is, oh yeah, but that is hard because. So why is hard stopping us? You
Just
say
like
the
you
fungus,
said.
you say everything. I'm just like, well,
Okay.
does it matter? Can't you do it anyway?
Exactly. Okay, let's dig deeper then.
Yeah.
Let's get into the spiritual side of this.
Yes.
Then. The mind.
Yes.
People are
There we
mind
go.
writers.
Because we want to go
Exactly.
beneath. We want to go, you know,
Beyond that
behind,
mind.
and
Behind
see
the mind.
What is
Exactly.
the real cause here?
Exactly. It's hard when you have a record. You know, not what's coming back is these new photographic records. These flat.
Oh, the phonograph.
Yeah, photographic type. They're coming back in the vinyl.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're coming back in, and all the grooves in a vinyl like that.
Yeah.
That's like your mind. Your mind is set by your conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom and your parents conditioned you to think certain ways. Your church or synagogue or whoever conditioned you certain ways. Your society, your government, whether salute, pray, whatever. That's all this is set in you. But
Might
that's all
even be,
man-made.
you know, other lifetimes. You know, as
That's
well.
true too. That as well.
Yeah, you're carrying with you.
Oh, you're a lot of souls carry this garbage from past lives because there's a lot of trauma down in these lower levels. So all of this we're carrying. The best way to get free and to enjoy yourself is get out of your mind.
Yes.
We've talked a lot about this, but if you try to change with your mind, you're not very successful because mind can't control mind. Consciousness, awareness controls mind, not mind controls mind.
I know, but you can't sit around wait for easy either.
Yeah.
You cannot wait for easy. You have to step up. You have to show up.
You do.
You have to take
You have to
charge.
show up. You do.
You have to act like you're the
do.
boss. You know, you can't only realize it, you have to act it. You have to be it.
Well, you know, there's one word that comes into mind, suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And what we found over all these years is that until you suffer enough, you generally don't change your way of doing anything. You have to be slapped upside the head. I had to be slapped a couple of times, and I said, okay, God, I got it. You know, or some real big slap. And it's like, okay.
I know all about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They try. I mean, I was hit over the head for years until I listened.
Yeah. Well, look at this.
Aww.
Look at this beautiful book. Isn't this beautiful? It's on ebooks. This is gorgeous. And this is just a tip of what she's going to write and show you her journey and more about what you have to do to get into where she's into Wellville. When you see her story and where she was and where she's at now, it's amazing. And the journey, the fall, the break, all the things that you went through. Oh my God, you went through hell to get to well.
I know.
And it's like, but. Yeah. A lot of you are out there like Hilde here. You are suffering immensely. Don't stop it. You can fix it.
And you can all do it.
You can all do it.
You can all do it.
You can all do it. I don't care how advanced you are.
And you know, I like the word, like when you take up. Thank you. Power up.
Power up.
The suffering part. You know, there is a big difference between pain and suffering.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Because suffering is a very self-conscious, disempowering feeling.
Yep.
Pain is something else. You do not have to suffer.
Right.
Because you're, because you're in pain.
Yeah.
And that is a mental conditioning. And when we promote fruit, you know, the way that we do, and detoxification, it's because I see that once you start to peel that onion, start to take away all of which is holding you back, just from that simple thing that we all can do. We all hold the power to decide what we put in our mouth, chew, swallow. Then things start to open.
Yeah. Well, look at Dr. Oz, a good example. This guy read our stuff and decided to take 12 people to a zoo and feed them raw foods.
Yes.
Well, they found just what we find. And that is now you're feeding people closer to their food source they're supposed to be eating, the human. And so all their stats went back to normal. Yeah. Their pains went away. Their weight came off. They did, just for 2 weeks alone, was amazing. But we all knew that anyway. We've been in this field for a lot of years. And when you see medical doctors like Oz and stuff starting to embark on that, Now, I noticed he got away from that. Then the other day, I saw him do a show, and he was sitting with raw foods all the way around him, and I could tell by his energy that he started eating raw again.
Yeah.
Because a lot of you, and sometimes they get blowback on us, is that you get away from it a little bit. You start adding a little cook to balance out and stuff like that. That's okay, but if you're going after something that's deep and painful and mutative to your body, you have to stay raw and you have to dig in.
And that's what
until
I'm saying.
You regenerate.
Just make it a project. Like
Exactly.
if you really want to get well, make it a project.
Yeah, those projects are fun.
Yeah, projects are always fun.
Yeah.
To see, you know, what you can do in 3 months, 6 months. You don't have to decide for the rest of your life. You don't have to go there. You know, this is just now. This is just getting well. And then once you're well, your body will tell you what to eat.
That's it. And I would say that, once you start on this, your body will tell you big time what you don't eat.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But let this self-discipline, give yourself a big hug and say, you know, I'm okay. I'm okay. I can take care of myself. I love my bodies. I can take care because you are an individualized representative of the divine. And you have to accept that fact that you're here as the divine. So the divine experiences through bodies. When you're infinite, the only way you can experience is cut yourself down. And so that's what's happened. We are each an expression of the divine. And you need to realize that your beauty, your individuality is beautiful. This idea that everybody needs to look the same, be the same, think the same, that's bullcrap.
How boring with that.
Oh, how boring.
Yeah.
And that's the problem in societies, in the social consciousness, like socialism and communist, things like this. Everybody kind of fits into the same kind of thing. No, like Catholicism. Everybody wears the same dresses and the same clothes and everything. Do you see anything the same down here?
Nothing.
No,
Appearance is
exactly.
nothing. And it is nothing. It actually is not much on health either. I mean, I look pretty good being damn sick.
Yeah.
You know, so that could be, you know, a big misleading guide if you go by that for health. You see all these high protein people, they lose a lot of weight, you know, initially. And then on detoxification, it's very important also to know that the body will heal with the right intention. So if you have a lot of weight on you that you would, you know, you see is being shred, then that might not happen initially because your body is smart enough to take care of what's most important for you first. It wants you to live and thrive and will take care of all your symptoms or all your, what should we call it, damaged cells in the sequence that's most important for life.
Yeah, and if you start out on this program and you're large and you gain weight, because we've had people gain weight detoxifying for the first month or two.
Yeah.
What kind of weight are you gaining? And you have to understand this, that we're talking about chemistry here. Yeah. And in chemistry, there's two sides to it, and that's it. You know, when I first took chemistry in high school, I loved it. And most everybody went, oh, yeah, horrible. But if you have the right teacher, they can make chemistry really make you understand how everything works here in life, because everything is chemistry. The interaction and the ionization of chemistry, that's where you see everything going on here. And so understanding a little bit of that is helpful. Understanding that the foods you eat are acidic or they're base dominant. And understanding the two sides of chemistry and the nature of two sides of chemistry. So you'll get an idea just why what we say.
I know.
It's based on science, not based upon ideas that we have about it. It's totally based on chemistry and physics. And that, you can't get any better than that. Medical, even though you might think this, the medical community is not based upon science. That's junk science. And it doesn't work science. It doesn't take into consideration a proper ionization and the proper side of chemistry that man needs to live on.
I know, and it's the big, you know, it's the lymphatic system. That's why you've been doing this great work. I mean, getting this out to the world about the lymphatic system.
Imagine being a physician and you miss a whole system in the human body that is the cause of everything. You miss it because you're not taught that and you're not looking at that. So you miss a whole system that everybody's having trouble with, and that's the problem. Now, we were talking about this earlier, there is an International Society of Lymphologists, but you don't hear about them. Yeah. They still don't understand the lymph system deep enough. They think it's there for the blood. But if you don't understand the lymph system, you are trapped in a world of unconsciousness and you don't know how to get well because you have a whole system you don't understand that's causing the problem. And when you look at everything else, it doesn't make sense because the cause is in another system that's not being looked at. And that's the lymphatic system.
The sewer system.
Exactly. Anytime you have a pimple, a boil,
Yep.
a rash,
Yep.
you're in the sewer system.
Yes.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yep. But they ignore that. You got some kind of whatever. Some dermatologist told this lady, client of mine, she had some Brazilian kind of worm or something on her face or something. It's just detox.
Yeah. And detox can be challenging because of all those symptoms that arise. You know, your weaknesses will show, but also you're stirring up a lot of toxins, and coming out, it can hurt.
Well, think about this. All these years of eating toxic-producing foods.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your proteins, your dairy products, your grains, your beans. These are toxin-producing foods, acid-producing foods. So when you are eating all these all your life, and then you start having symptoms, then you go to a medical doctor who gives you pharmaceuticals to suppress that symptom. What they're doing is suppressing chemistry in your body. When that chemistry starts building up and building up, stagnation of the lymph system means stagnation of acids, means acidosis. This starts building and building. The word that's used for that is inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Inflammation is not a problem. That's your immune response to acidosis.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem. So when you suppress everything with drugs, and then you come to us and start going on fruits and berries and stuff, guess what happens? The door explodes open.
No. And I tell you, I got so much worse after stopping the medication than I was before I started.
Yeah, I know.
When I stopped,
That's true. Good point.
whoa, it's like this train is hitting you from behind, because it's actually been accelerating in speed all this time. You just haven't been feeling it.
Exactly.
And once you stop, boom.
Yeah.
You know?
And you just have to understand that.
Yeah.
And if you understand that, then you understand why the boom.
And then you have to understand the time that this
Exactly.
takes. I mean, I was going through this for several years until I really understood what I had been doing to myself.
Yeah.
I had been living off of cheese doodles, Diet Coke, cigarettes, beer.
Oh.
I know.
Crap.
Tastes good.
Oh, yeah.
For years.
Wow. No wonder you
And
had
then
a lot of
topping that with a lot of medications for years.
Wow.
And when you stop that and the body starts to clean house,
Yeah, I know.
you can take up the windows, you can take out the doors, but the smell needs to come out, and the parasites, all the the uninvited guests that were crawling under the beds, they all needed to come out.
That's funny. That's true. Clean out the guests.
I know. I didn't know I invited them, but I did. I was like an open house.
I know. Well, man,
come on in.
Man, he's like Billy Goats.
Yeah.
It's like dogs. If it don't taste good, we'll throw something on it and eat it anyway.
Yeah.
It's like,
so seriously, it can be tough. And the symptoms could, devastating just from detox.
Yeah.
But
if your skin
the body is, it's on your side. It's always on your side. Yeah. Never curse your body. Never think that it turns against you. Never think that there's an autoimmune anything that your body is working against you or turning on you. It's not possible. Mm-hmm. Your body is a self-healing machine that always works to do the best for you. Always works in the sense of healing.
You brought up a good point. The good point is that when you see any type of symptom, all life in physics is simple. Jesus said it. Buddha said it. They just had a different way of saying it. Jesus said, you reap what you sow. Buddha just said, well, you can say it in one word, karma. In physics, we call it for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So all you're seeing is the reaction from your cause, from your actions all your life. That's all you're seeing.
I know.
And you can't blame your body for that. Your body was following where you took it.
Right.
And it's the mind that is the problem.
Yeah.
Remember, in Christianity, it was the tree of knowledge that Adam and Eve ate from, meaning the mind. When you lose consciousness is when you start thinking. Yeah. You start tracing your thoughts. You start losing your ability to be awake and aware.
And you can take that over to the effort side, like little effort, little result. Middle effort and middle result.
Exactly.
All in, great results. And that is the action part. That I would like to empower you all to take note of.
Grab it. It's like grabbing a bull and jumping on and riding that baby.
Because you can do it. You just have to act like it. You have to step up. You have to show up in your own life. Because the information is out there. We're a lot of people out there that wants to help, share information. I mean, there's nothing that gives me more joy than to be able to share information and inspiration.
Yeah, it's fun to see people come back from hell.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Because we're all one. we're all a piece of that divine. And when one piece of the divine is suffering, we all suffer, guys. So we all are one. We need to stop, put down our guns and knives. And stop it. Yeah, let's become one. Let's all be happy and friends. Let's eat good. Let's get our bodies in shape. And there's greater discussions to have. A Socratean or a Pythagorean discussion. We all are.
And this is about saving the world, the earth. I read about this prison that went vegan for the inmates, and the crime went to zero.
Did you see that? That was an interesting study, wasn't it?
That is the point exactly about what we're talking about, actually, because you're pulling out all the negative forces, all the putrefaction, all the karma from the dead animals. I mean, if you want to go there, that'd be a whole different video. You take away all of that, and you just eat the fruits. It's friendly. It's from sunshine. It's God's force.
I was amazed that this prison did that. I was amazed that this prison set over here in one area a vegan diet, but with that came spiritual lessons and higher ways of thinking and stuff. And they offered all the prisoners that they could go on this side and have a vegan diet and participate in these programs and that sort of thing. Or you could go back to you could be in the general population. And believe it or not, they didn't think they would get the response in the prisoners that they did. Most of the prisoners said, no, we'll go vegan. And they said in the yards where they were all hanging around in gangs, they weren't hanging around in gangs anymore. They were all individuals. They were all laughing and having fun. It changed their demeanor completely.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Exactly. And that's what we're talking. It does. It changes the way you think. It changes the way your persona is, because now you're hooked to the divine. You're eating more of the divine.
So we need to get back to who we really are, because they weren't changing. They were just shredding what wasn't them in the first place.
Exactly.
So,
but what a great process, because we've been talking about trying to get into prisons and stuff, nursing homes. The problem with nursing homes is that half the people will be going home. And the problem with half the people going home is their kids. I've worked with nursing homes for years, pulled a lot of people out of nursing homes. Not difficult to regenerate more than half of these people.
Isn't that amazing?
Easy. But the kids didn't want them home. I mean, there was a lot.
Well, maybe the kids need to detoxify.
Exactly. There was a lot of situations coming up. I got good stories on that one too.
Okay. Well, that's another story.
That's another story.
Yeah.
That's another
video. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the ride. You're on your own journey, no matter who you have pulled around you, wife or husband.
You can do anything.
You can do this. This is your journey. You grab a hold of your journey, and I guarantee you, you'll have a smile on your face. You'll feel good, and you'll just have a whole new feeling for life and how you see life. And don't forget, there's so much more beyond this world.
Much more.
Much more.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too, honey.